Hey, Emily,
What?
let's start a podcast.
Why?
Because there are not enough podcasts, there should probably be another one.
That's a good point.
So let's say we start a podcast. What would we call it?
Okay, we should definitely call it Stories of the Way.
I like that title so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so if we're telling stories of the way, what kind of stories would those be?
Okay, they would be stories of ordinary people,
Ordinary, I like that.
unqualified,
Ooh,
dare I say, even disqualified.
wow, that's controversial.
People that Jesus wants to use in extraordinary ways to take his kingdom forward.
Okay, so let's do it. We'll start a podcast. We'll call it Stories of the Way.
Okay.
We'll tell stories of very ordinary people serving an extraordinary God.
Yeah.
And hopefully, as people hear these stories, they'll think, man, if God can use that person to do that, what could he do through my life if I just surrendered, learned to hear his voice through prayer, and said yes to whatever he said? Let's do it.
So good.
So maybe as we start it, do you think if a person listened to it and at the end of the podcast they're like, where would I even start doing something like that? Do you think we could offer them resources to help?
For sure we could. We
Okay.
would offer them prayer partners.
Yes.
We would have discipleship resources for them. We would have training resources.
Training?
Yeah, so that they could use their very ordinary stories for the extraordinary things that are happening in the kingdom of God right now.
Well, let's go.
all
Let's just
across the
do it.
world.
Let's start a podcast. Let's call it Stories of the Way. Let people follow along. Let's see what God does with it.